Hello, it's March the 9th, lesson 68 in A Course in Miracles workbook for students. Love holds no grievances. Love holds no grievances. Nice continuing on from our lesson yesterday. Love created me like itself. So, you have every right to claim to be love because love created you and that is what you are. God is love, and you are the offspring of God. Therefore, you are love. All right? And so, love created me like itself. And remember, we were to think of all the attributes that could be said of love. The ones they exemplified yesterday was holiness created me holy, kindness created me kind, helpfulness created me helpful, perfection created me perfect. I like to think a lot about how kindness created me kind. Joy created me joyful. Truthfulness created me truthful. Anyway, whatever words worked, I hope you let that come into your mind many times yesterday. Okay, we're going to go on today. Love holds no grievances. And we've got quite a bit of italicized words that you don't necessarily need to memorize them, though it is helpful. If memorization's a difficult thing for you, by no means let that discourage you or stop you. As a matter of fact, I was going to tell you, a lot of times what I do is I'll have my book open. Usually I have my book open to the page, and I have it sitting on my lap or close to me. And I usually do my lessons as the longer extended periods I do as a meditation. Close my eyes, and I try to just keep my eyes closed and do the lesson. But if I forget what was told, or I forget the actual thing I was supposed to tell myself during the meditation, well, then I open my eyes and I look. And I think that's really important that we do this as close as what Jesus wants us to do it. All right? And so anyway, but there's quite a bit in this lesson we're going to have to do in our meditation, and I just want to make it as easy as possible for you. Okay. Also, I've got a couple plants here that I wanted to show you. This is a rose. You saw that rose. It's another knockout rose. I got this one home and I realized it didn't have a variety on it. It was, but it was blooming nice and red and didn't have a lot of fragrance. A little bit, but not much. And I got it because it's middle, we're coming in here and there's not much, and someone's got these things started and growing good, and I just wanted some roses, I guess. I also did the same thing on this cauliflower. I thought it said on the outside of the tray when I picked them up. This time of year I buy a lot of plants, and tried to get them in the ground, get them growing so we can eat them. Anyway, I got it home and it doesn't have a variety on it, which is really unusual for me because I usually always like to get a variety, because that way if I get one that I really like, I know what I want to get next time. But if this one does good, I won't ever know the name of it. I'd love to find some way to find the name of things after I've already got them. I've got a lot of fruit trees out there that I'm not sure what variety of apples or peaches they even are. All right, which, I'd like to kind of know what they are. One of these days I may be able to figure a way to track them genetically and get some answers. All right, but let's go on to love holds no grievances. Love holds no grievances. Now, I've got a little shadow there, don't I? Well, I just have to set forward. Maybe you'll be able to see me just fine. Though I'd rather you listen. As a matter of fact, as far as I'm concerned, you ought to have your book out and just read through along with me. As many ways we can get this into us. All right, let's go ahead and read it. Love holds no grievances. I love this first paragraph. You who were created by love like itself can hold no grievances and know yourself. Wow. You can't hold a grievance and know yourself. So you want to know yourself? You want to reach self-realization? as Paramahansa Yogananda called it, well, then we've got to learn to hold no grievances, no unforgivenesses, no, what are some other words for grievances? Bitternesses against another person or thing, anger, any kind of irritation towards, it could even be towards yourself, but an irritation towards others is how it usually manifests. And we don't want that kind of thing going in our life. We want to practice forgiveness. And that's what the Course is trying to get us to do, is to recognize when we've held a grievance and let it go. All right? To hold a grievance is to forget who you are. To hold a grievance is to see yourself as a body. It is the decision to let the ego rule the mind and to condemn the body to death. 2, perhaps you do not yet fully realize just what holding grievances does to your awareness. Wow, you wonder why we are not aware of God's goodness all the time? It's because we're too busy complaining inside, about what other people are doing and what's going on. Well, that loses your awareness because you're created like love. So you have to act like love if you want to know who you are. It seems to split you off from your source and make you unlike him. Holding grievances seems to split you off from your source and make you unlike him. It makes you believe that he is like what you think you have become. For no one can conceive of his creator as unlike himself. There's a key idea, that no one can conceive of his creator as unlike himself. So if you think, when you think that God needs to forgive, it's because you need to forgive, so you think that God must need to forgive. All the qualities that you think of yourself, you conceive of your creator as very similar. So if you get angry, you're going to think that God's going to get angry, which God doesn't get angry. But anyway, that's debatable, I expect. Some people believe that God gets angry and that he has a limit to his patience. And no, I wouldn't get too controversial on those subjects. I would just do the best you can at practicing love as you understand it, and one step at a time, you'll learn everything you need to know in time. Paragraph 3. Is that what we're ready for? Yes. Shut off from yourself, which remains aware of its likeness to its creator, yourself seems to sleep, while the part of your mind that weaves illusions in its sleep appears to be awake. So the part of you that really ought to be awake is sleeping, and the part of you that really doesn't even exist is what seems to be awake in this dream. Remember I told you yesterday, we will awaken from this dream? Well, that's what we're trying to hasten that day, that moment. That's what we want to call the holy instant, as it's referred to in A Course in Miracles, that moment when you're awake. And it'll get more and more. And it's really the only reality anyway, is your awakeness, or your oneness, your godness, your connection with God. But we don't see it that way in our dream. Our dream of separation, our dream of grievances. Can all this arise from holding grievances? Can all what arise? I talked there a minute, so let me go back and read that. Shut off from yourself, which remains aware of its likeness to its creator, yourself seems to sleep, while the part of your mind that weaves illusions in its sleep appears to be awake. Can all this arise from holding grievances? Come on. Can all this arise from holding grievances? Oh, yes! Exclamation point. For he who holds grievances denies he was created by love. For he who holds grievances denies he was created by love. And his creator has become fearful to him in his dream of hate. Who can dream of hatred and not fear God? 4. It is as sure that those who hold grievances will redefine God in their own image, as it is certain that God created them like himself and defined them as part of him. It is as sure that those who hold grievances will suffer guilt, as it is certain that those who forgive will find peace. It is as sure that those who hold grievances will forget who they are, as it is certain that those who forgive will remember. Wow, you want to remember who you are? Practice forgiveness. Would you not be willing to relinquish your grievances if you believed all this were so? So if we really believed all this, that we lose that much awareness of ourself by holding an unforgiveness, a grievance, well then we would find it much easier to practice forgiveness or let go of our grievances. Perhaps you do not think you can let all your grievances go. That, however, is simply a question of motivation. Today we will try to find out how you would feel without them. If you succeed even by ever so little, there will never be a problem in motivation ever again. Whoa! Never a problem in motivation to practice forgiveness, to let go of your grievances. You'll never have a problem ever again in motivation to do that if you get an understanding of what we're talking about today. Begin today's extended practice period by searching your mind for those against whom you hold what you regard as major grievances. Some of these will be quite easy to find. Then think of the seemingly minor grievances you hold against those you like and even think you love. It will quickly become apparent that there is no one against whom you do not cherish grievances of some sort. This has left you alone in all the universe in your perception of yourself. Determine now to see all these people as friends. Say to them all collectively, thinking of each one in turn as you do so, I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me and come to know myself. You want to come to know yourself? See everyone as your friend, because that's the way you were created. So that's who you are. Spend the remainder of the practice period trying to think of yourself as completely at peace with everyone and everything, safe in a world which protects you and loves you and which you love in return. Try to feel safety surrounding you, however, or hovering over you and holding you up. Try to believe, however briefly, that nothing can harm you in any way. So during your practice period, we got one more sentence in that paragraph. But before we read it, before we go on, remember, these are the qualities that we want to try to get a sense of feel for, which are going to increase your motivation to practice letting go of grievances. He says that if you succeed even by ever so little, there will never be a problem in motivation ever again. That was the last sentence of paragraph 5. Well, we need motivation. Well, our motivation is going to come from what we're going to do in this lesson. We're going to try to look at everyone as our friend. We're going to try to feel the safety that hovers around us as our birthright, that we can't be harmed. All right? And just to give you a heads up, you're not the body. So don't get too attached to the clothing. But your true self, which even extends to this world, the physical body even, is under the control of the true self that you have. It's all working perfectly. At the end of the practice period, okay, so during your practice period, you're going to think of people that you're holding grievances towards. You're going to say, I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you as part of me and come to know myself. All right? And then after you've done that, you can just try to feel the safety surrounding you and hovering over you and holding you up. Try to believe, however briefly, that nothing can harm you in any way. At the end of the practice period, tell yourself, love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. Wow. So our feeling of vulnerability comes from attacking our brothers and sisters in our mind by not seeing the goodness in them, by not cherishing them, by not having them as our friend in our heart. Doesn't matter whether they want to be your friend or they are your friend. That's all in the world of illusion. In reality, they are much your friend as you are theirs. You're part of the one self, the Christ. All right? Paragraph 11. The short practice period should include a quick application of today's idea in this form. Whenever any thought of grievances arises against anyone, physically present or not, say, love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. Let me not betray myself. And that's a capital self because it's yourself that's one with God. All right? We don't want to betray that self. You have the free will to. You can believe in separation and believe you're separated from God and from yourself, but it doesn't make you happy. And it's only going to make you sad until the point where you finally realize there's got to be a better way. Well, we're looking at the better way right here. All right? And the last paragraph. In addition, repeat the idea several times an hour in this form. Love holds no grievances. I would wake to myself by laying all my grievances aside and wakening in Him. Love holds no grievances. I would wake to myself by laying all grievances aside and wakening in Him. And one last thing before we leave for the day. If it does help you to just watch the video and that's what you need and that inspires you, well then just watch the video. If it helps you to watch it and be reading along at the same time, well then do that. But I told you a while ago it's nice to read along. Well, some of you may find that really what you'd rather do is just watch the video and then read it afterwards or not read it at all. The time is what we're trying to save here. And the better you can integrate these concepts, the quicker you're going to reach that place that my teacher Paramahansa Yogananda called self-realization. All right? So, until tomorrow, remember, say it often, love holds no grievances. I would wake to myself by laying all grievances aside and wakening in Him.